This is a show that will blow your mind, but it might not. It all depends. Do you like breakfast and a book with a friend? Good morning, people in quarantine. That is a reference to a Robert Williams movie. I am spinning on my chair, running into stuff, doing the stuffs. I changed it up a little bit in this fine breakfasty morning. Doing weird stuff today. We're doing breakfast and a book with Swallow, but we're having a weird breakfast, and we changed up the breakfast. No tea this morning. That's right, no tea this morning. Hey Seth, how's it going? This morning, chocolate milk. Delicious. If you don't like chocolate milk, or if you are lactose intolerant, which I probably am, because most people are, something like 88% of the population is, but it doesn't bother me. I drink milk. I feel great. I love it. So, it's breakfast in a book with Swallow. I had a interesting experiment today. I decided I'm gonna try something weird because I had some leftover waffle, and I thought, why don't I try this weird thing? Oh, my friend Seth says Comic-Con canceled. What do you think? I think that is the smart thing to do, because while it may have died down in July, there's rumor that it could swing back at the end of summer, or something along those lines. And if you have 120,000 people in a closed space in San Diego downtown, I think that is a breeding ground for problems. So yeah, I am going to show you how my experiment went. I think it looks good. We don't know if it will taste good. It's an experiment. Look at this hair. I woke up like this, people. Okay, hold on. Switching around. So this is the waffle I made when I put an egg right in the middle of it and I put a little cheese on top. Here we go. Oh, ooh. I have no idea if this is gonna be good. We're gonna try it out. It could be terrible. Who knows? I gotta get a bite in the middle where the egg is to see how it turned out. Turned out fine. I also put a little salt, a little garlic, a little bit of pepper, and toad in a hole is what it's called. Oh, I didn't even know that's what it's called. Toad in a hole is what it's called when it's egg in a hole. Like you cut a hole in the bread and then you put an egg in there and then you fry it. My roommate Alex said it's toad in a hole. So I made toad in a waffle, I guess. Bam. And turned out good. You get a little bit sweet with the waffle, but not too much sweet. And then you get the savory flavor from the eggs. Look at me using the big cooking words, huh? Also, I made bacon because I am not a monster. All right, I'm a little bit of a monster. Normally I have tea for breakfast, but I thought if I'm gonna have this other experiment, why don't I have some chocolate milk? You guys, chocolate milk is delicious. If you are, my roommate says most breakfast foods taste good with other breakfast foods. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that is true. Oh, so then I guess we could try out a pancake and an egg taste together, good together. Of course, isn't that what a sausage McGriddle basically is? Is just literally a French, like a pancake with syrup in it, sausage, cheese, egg. So I guess I didn't do anything that experimental, did I? I thought I was getting experimental because I had never done it before, Probably, one, somebody had already done it before. Everything that you ever think that you did that was original, somebody did in like 1843, like on accident. So, all right, we're going to get to the book here in a second. This book, called Hounded, by Kevin Hearne. He's funny. Like, this guy is genuinely funny. This is like like most fantasy. This is urban fantasy. Most urban fantasy has a little bit of humor to it. Like, usually they have a little bit of humor thrown in there. This is, and some of it's like a little cheesy, some of it's not cheesy, some of it's in between. But this guy is genuinely hilarious. Hilarious. He's hilarious, guys. He's genuinely hilarious. So I'm gonna read you the back of the book. Atticus O'Sullivan, last of the Druids, lives peacefully in Arizona, running an occult bookshop and shapeshifting in his spare time to hunt with his Irish wolfhound. His neighbors and customers think that he's this handsome, tattooed Irish dude about 20 years old, when in actuality, he's 21 centuries old. Not to mention, he draws his power from the earth, possesses a sharp wit, and wields an even sharper magical sword known as Fragarok, the Answerer. Unfortunately, a very angry Celtic god wants that sword, and he's hounded Atticus for centuries. Now the determined deity has tracked him down, and Atticus will need all his power, plus the help of a seductive goddess of death, his vampire, and werewolf team of attorneys, a sexy bartender possessed by a Hindu witch, and some good old-fashioned luck of the Irish to kick some Celtic arse and deliver himself from evil. I mean, you can already tell that is pretty funny. So, I'm going to read actually straight from the beginning of the book. I believe this is actually this is the first book in the series. I read the rest of them on a Kindle because that was the easiest way to get them. Fraggle Rock? It does sound like Fraggle Rock. No, it's Fragarach. Fragarach. There might be an Irish way to say that. Fragarach. I don't know how the Irish people speak. How do you... Yeah, Celtic arse, yeah. Some people would say Celtic, but it's not correct. It's Celtic. Pardon me. This guy has multiple books in the series, and you should read all of them. Also, he talks to his dog. He talks to his dog! It's adorable! And he even has one book where you hear the book in the dog's point of view, and it is pretty funny. It might be a short story, actually. It might be a whole book. I can't remember. So we're going to, I think I'm going to read from the beginning on this one. And this is what he put on his front page. Look, Mom, I made this. Can we put it on the fridge? He has a pronunciation guide for Irish words at the beginning, too. Let's see what Fragarog is. Frag-a-ra. Frag-a-ra. So it's not Fragarok. It's Frag-a-ra. 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 There are many perks to living for 21 centuries, and foremost among them is bearing witness to the rare birth of genius. And invariably goes like this. Someone shrugs off the weight of his cultural traditions, ignores the baleful stares of authority, and does something that his countrymen think to be completely batshit insane. Of those, Galileo was my personal favorite. Van Gogh comes in second, but he really was batshit insane. Thank the goddess I don't look like a guy who met Galileo, or who saw Shakespeare's plays when they first debuted, or rode with the hordes of Genghis Khan. When people ask how old I am, I just tell them 21. And if they assume I mean years instead of decades or centuries, then that can't be my fault, can it? I still get carded. In fact, which any senior citizen will tell you is immensely flattering. The young Irish lad facade does not stand me in good stead when I'm trying to appear scholarly at my place of business, though. I run an occult bookshop with an apothecary's counter squeezed in the corner. But it has one outstanding advantage. When I go to the grocery store, for example, and people see my curly red hair, fair skin, and long goatee, they suspect that I play soccer and drink lots of Guinness. If I'm going sleeveless and they see the tattoos all up and down my right arm, they assume I'm in a rock band and smoke lots of weed. It never enters their mind for a moment that I could be an ancient druid. And that's the main reason I like this look. If I grew a white beard and got myself a pointy hat, oozed dignity and sagacity, and glowed with beatitude, people might start to get the wrong or the right idea. You see? You see? This guy's hilarious. Jason says, dude, it's way too late for breakfast. I'm going to be clear on this, guys. Breakfast is when you break your fast. I just woke up a little bit ago, cooked breakfast, and I'm breaking my fast. It's break fast. Breakfast. No, it's not too late. Because breakfast, morning foods are just made up. This egg thing, that doesn't have to be eaten in the morning. It can be eaten any time. You can eat steak in the morning. You can eat chicken in the morning. You can eat rice in the morning. You can eat anything you want, anytime you want. And the morning is relative. Because I just woke up. Okay, sorry, getting riled up. Stouty says if he were to do this any sooner, he'd be waking up the rest of the house and be driven out with pitchforks. That is true. The owner of this sweet, sweet house and also a roommate, Stouty, points out that we all get up pretty late. Because we're nightlife people. I like the nightlife. I like to boogie in this disco. I don't know the rest of the song, so that's fine. I'm just going to stop there. But like I was saying, Kevin Hearne is a great writer. He's funny. It's super fast paced. The action's great. It involves gods. He talks to his dog, and his dog is hilarious. And I mean, it's just like, this book is so fun, you guys. It's a fun ass book. You should definitely read this book. I don't know about the cover, you know. It looks like an actual person, so maybe it's a drawing. I don't know. But the whole series is great. Ariel, my beautiful lady, says he should start filming these at 5 a.m. when we are still awake. Then no one could argue it isn't breakfast because it would be before anyone else has eaten. Good point. Alex says that sounds awesome, and again, it's well written. You choose good books. I try. I've read a lot of books. There's been I think I did 1 or 2 books that probably aren't technically great, but like I like them because there's like great action and silly vampires and stuff like that. But I do my best. I want guys to paint a picture, and if they're funny, like the dialogue this guy has is boom, and he does a great job. Like sometimes when someone's funny, they all write in the same voice, so like each character's funny, but they're all funny in the same way, if that makes any sense. The cover looks like a romantic, sexy book for a woman. I guess it could be. Yeah, there's a little romance through this. Yeah, that's true. It's not a huge part of it, but that's definitely involved. But the other thing that he does great is that each character's voice definitely comes across as different. So basically, when you're when you're reading the dialogue, it's perfect. Sorry, I got distracted. When you're reading the dialogue, you can see that it's a different person. Like you can feel like, oh, this has a different vibe to it. It has a different language and cadence to that dialogue, and that's a big deal. Like I as a writer myself, I wrote a fantasy book. I have had a hard time doing that, like making sure. My friend Daniel says this is a dope shirt. He has the same one. Good taste, my friend. Captain America, you can't go wrong. At some point, I'll probably bring out some comic books to review as well, by the way. And we'll talk about the artists and the writers as well from some of the comic books I have. Anyway, I was going to show you inside of this big thing, but I'll do it later. Stouty says, I had to read a comment. Sorry about the pause there. Stouty says it's a wonderful sexy book. Since the character is so old, he doesn't have the social norms around sex. And book 2, he has sex with the dog. It was beautiful. This is not true. It is funny that you said that, though, and I will accept that being funny and move on. So, I guess that's about it. I definitely suggest this book and all of this person's books. Kevin Hearne. Apparently, he's also written a Star Wars book. Maybe pick that one up. I don't know which one he wrote yet, but oh wait, yes I do. Oh well, anyways, you should check out all of the stuff the guy writes. He's funny, concise. The dialogue is amazing and distinct, and it's fast paced as well. Stouty says, not fair, you can't read it ahead of time. I have to read it ahead of time. That's how I do things. I read, I think, then I say things. That's how you do it. So, during this quarantine, I hope that you're all doing as well as you can be doing. Take the opportunity to pick up a book through the internet and read a new author. Obviously, I read a lot of fantasy books. At some point, I will be doing some non-fantasy stuff. I might even be doing some non-fiction stuff because I have a couple of stand-up writing books and stuff like that I might talk about and review. Usually it'll be fiction because I think it's more fun to talk about fiction. But like I was saying, just pick up a new book, try something new. This is our opportunity. You're stuck at home for the most part. If you're one of those people who are out there working your ass off, we appreciate you 100%. If you're at delivering groceries, if you're, at the grocery store, you're one of those essential places. If you are a medical person saving lives out there, we really, really, really appreciate it. R.A. Salvatore, yes, I do have some Salvatore books. He's fucking great. Actually, I don't know if he's a he or she, honestly, because it's R.A. So that person is great. Either way, we appreciate you guys being out there working hard. And if you are a person who has extra money and wants to support me being artistic, because I can't work right now, I don't have any jobs anymore. I'm trying though. My podcast, we have a Patreon. My Patreon is freaking awesome. I'm telling you guys. Ed and I, Ed Greer from Screen Junkies and from Nerd Goat, our podcast, have a Patreon where you get extra podcasts. And if you join the $7 tier, you get art. Although right now, the Kinko's is closed, so we haven't been able to send out the art. But when the Kinko's opens up, we're sending a big old package of art to all of our supporters so that they can get all of that stuff. Daniel, one of my friends, said he just delivered groceries, and he's one of those guys out there working hard, helping people out. It's a big deal to be doing saving people money. Also, yes, Ariel, I am doing stand-up tonight at 8 p.m. I'm going to do like 30 minutes of stand-up. You guys can check it out. It's going to be Facebook Live just like this, only in front of a white screen that Stouty put together in front of my roommates who will be hearing me do the same jokes, probably. But they keep laughing at the same jokes. So, Hounded, yes, the title is backwards. Yeah, I have that. I'm using my phone for this instead of my laptop. My laptop right now needs a new fan, and there is no new fan that is available. So I'm trying to figure out if I can build a fan or something like that, because it just turns on. It makes that noise. It is not a good ASMR noise, unless you're like a weirdo who likes it to sound like a roaring engine. Then it's great. So yeah, Hounded, Hounded. It's a great book. Kevin Hearne is great. Kevin Hearne, Kevin Hearne. So yeah, check it out. It's really fun. It's fast paced. You're gonna have a good time doing that. And like I said, if you want to support me, you can send me some stuff through the Venmo. If you have a regular job and you haven't lost your job and you're doing okay, you want to support the arts, my Venmo is at ron-swallow, or my PayPal is ronswallow@gmail.com. Woohoo! So thank you guys for being awesome and supporting all the good stuff. Remember, I'm going to do some stand-up tonight at 8 p.m. I'm just trying to keep people happy and thinking about something else for, 15 to half an hour at a time. So check it out, 8 p.m. California time. So I guess that would be later if you're in a different city. And if it's super late, I'm sorry about that. But 8 p.m. is now like 4 p.m. to me because I stay up till 5 in the morning. Woo! So thank you, as always, for listening to another episode of Breakfast and a Book with Ron Swallow. Bye, guys.